Hold on. All right.
Boom, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
What's good, bro? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, great, bro. Great, man. No complaints.
Yeah. I appreciate you for coming on here, sharing your time and everything.
For sure,
I know your schedule hectic and all, but we had to get this in. Oh, I think you went out for a second.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it went out for a quick second. We back though. Oh man, the Wi-Fi.
Why I never got service? Is that better? That's better. We good?
Yeah, we good now. The Wi-Fi,
we good. We good.
It's a little shaky.
I'm out here by the water, man, in Miami, man. It's hurricanes, so we'll be good. Make it work.
Water a little different. So I told everybody that you were a former professional basketball player, and now you're assistant coach with the Washington Wizards. And you just want to share a little bit about your life story. I know you from New York, Long Island to be exact. And what was a passion of yours growing up?
Yeah, I mean, New York, man, originally from, in the city. My mom was from Brooklyn, so I had that city vibe. And then I moved out to Long Island where I have family. Coming from New York is just as far as culture, it's very aggressive. You know what I mean? Everybody likes to talk, and you kind of got to back up your talk. And back when I was coming up, it was kind of the mecca for basketball. A lot of big guys were coming out as far as like street ball and that kind of stuff. It was huge. And I caught the tail end of probably like the golden era of it. But, it makes you tough, to say the least.
Yeah. It made you who you are today.
Yeah. For sure.
So, growing up, like, what passions of yours did you have?
I mean, my original passion was music. I've told my story a few times, especially these last few weeks. And my gift by God was music. So that's what I did my whole life till I was 18. And basketball was something I loved, but I just never probably had the confidence in myself or felt good or had the opportunity to really do something. So, that's something I picked up at 18 years old. So coming up, high school, elementary, music was my thing. And I had a scholarship to probably all the top music schools you could name, Juilliard, Cal Berkeley, and I turned everything down for basketball. So that's kind of my story on the come up, man. Yeah.
You want to know something crazy? Music was my first love too.
That's tough.
I've been playing drums since I was like 4. I keep it like a hidden secret. I don't really let a lot of people know that. I played in the jazz band in high school, played at church, all that. So that's crazy.
It's hard because it's like guys like us and even my man Joe. So I got my man Joe out here. He works with me. He from University of Miami. He's up and coming coach, player development guy. He has the same kind of story. It's like personality wise, it's not the best fit as far as the people around, like in the music world. So that was kind of my clash. Like I couldn't really bond with anybody outside of that realm. It just wasn't for me on a personal level,
Yeah, I feel that exactly. My homeboys, they used to tease me, call me nicknames, all that. But when I used to get on the drum set, they used to start dancing. I don't even care.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get up and get busy, man. We're gonna have to do something.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, and then we find out that we live by each other now, so
yeah, close by. Yeah, I'll be back in that area on the 20th. We finish up the last 2 weeks in Miami. We're gonna be out there. It's lit season here.
All right, that's cool. I'll be back home in like 2 weeks visiting my parents, so we'll definitely link up.
Yeah, for sure.
So you say you started playing basketball at age 18.
18.
What made you decide, to just do that switch all of a sudden?
Well, it was like one of those things, man. I always loved it, man. Every kid, if you ask me at 5 what I wanted to do, I'd say play in the NBA. But it's like, I think every kid says that at some point that loves basketball or even around it. But it was just like opportunity, man. And I didn't really have any support system around me to get me, to kind of push me there. So it was just one of those things that I was like, I hit a crossroads in life. It's like, what do I want to really do for the rest of my life? Because I'm getting ready to go to college. And this is, a monumental moment in your life and becoming a man. And I just said, man, listen, turned down every music scholarship I had. And I went to a Division III junior college. I'm the lowest you can go. That's the lowest possible you could go. You playing with guys that are 27, 28 years old, grown men, and I had to pay my own way. I had to pay my own way. So I'm paying out of pocket to go play. I'm paying to go play instead of getting paid to go do something else. So that was the ultimate sacrifice. So once you do that, man, you're all in. You got to invest in yourself.
For sure.
Yeah.
starting at 18, like what was your motivation? Because you said like you didn't really have like that support system. What was your what was your motivation to keep you going?
Man, so like coming up, man, I was like an overweight kid. You know, I wasn't in shape. And you know, you get picked on and all that eventually. Like as a kid coming up, I was soft. Like I'll be the first to tell you. Like in high school, I was soft. But you get picked on enough, man, and something switches. And it was like when I was coming out of high school, 50 Cent was just dropping, the Get Rich or Die Trying. And he's in the video working out, shirt off, crazy. So I was like, man, I got to get like that. So that was like the first test. I said, first thing I'm doing is I'm just going to get in incredible shape. So I lost the weight going in, like ending to my senior year of high school. So I was already in shape. I just didn't have the skill set behind it. So, you know, once you get that weight off, you start getting more confident in the way you look. And you know, so much of life and everything is confidence. Sure. So then, you know, then I just dove in, man. I got lucky, man. I got blessed, and I came across a good trainer who really took care of me for a long time, named Jerry Powell.
Okay, that's what's up. So mentally, how was your mindset back in them JUCO days? Because like you said, you was playing against like grown folks at the bottom of the bottom, and you worked your tail off.
I was a bum, bro. Let me tell you, I'll be the first to tell you. My first 2 years, I was a bum. I didn't get off the bench. Like, I tried to make the best of my opportunity. I went to one JUCO. I played all right, decent. I got the experience, which is the best part. I went to another JUCO, same conference, same level. I started to get a little better, but even at the end of that second year, I didn't have any accolades. I had decent numbers, and I could play, and I would work hard. I still didn't have that professional work ethic yet, and I didn't have accolades. So I had some Division II offers. I had one Division I very low offer, and they ended up getting swiped off the table. It was like a last-minute thing. So I was like, man, I'm at another crossroads, man. Like, I invested 2 years in this, and I'm not really looking like it's going to do anything. Maybe I'll go D2. And I had a couple of people around me in the train I started working with. Like, man, don't settle. So I ended up taking a year off, and I just trained. And that's when I got the itch for training and learning how to train. And it's a day in, day out process in which you really have to do. And that's when I developed it. And then halfway through that year that I took off, I had schools, you know, kids becoming eligible. They get cut for whatever reason. Schools coming in and working me out to take a look at me. And that's when I realized this is important, man. This is like the only chance you get. Like, and they just lit a fire in me, man. I got one chance to show people what I got. And then before you knew it, man, I had dozens of Division I offers. And it was just, I could pick where I wanted to go. And I eventually chose Liberty University.
Okay. And out of all the schools that you had offers from, what separated Liberty University from the rest of the schools that you could have went to?
It was down to Liberty, and it was down to University of Cincinnati, which is a little bit bigger, tough-nosed school. And it just really came down to where could I go? I got 2 years left and just maximize my time and get the most minutes and kind of be a big fish in a small pond. So I had to put my ego aside. I had about 4 or 5 good high major offers. But I just said, man, I got to max out what I got. I only got 2 years. I can't afford to lose any time.
Yeah, you know for sure. So, yeah, I feel that.
It worked out.
And I know Liberty is like it's like a Christian university.
Super Christian.
Were you a Christian before you went there?
Not before. No. So I had a good when I went there, man, I was straight New York kid.
Yeah.
I got kicked out of there twice when I got there. Because they had like little, like, not for things crazy, but like anything you did, like you wore earrings, wore a hat, they had a dress code. So you would get fined for this. And at the end of the semester, I would owe the school like $2,000-$3,000. Like, I didn't have that to pay. They would put me up for like non-return, and then, you know, people would help me out or whatever. But it was kind of like, it was a blessing because, one, I had a great coaching staff that led me to Christ and helped me, you know, further my faith. But on top of that, I needed the structure, man, because I'm coming from a wild place. And JUCO is there's zero structure, you know, and I'm coming to a place where it's overly structured. So I had to find a balance in the middle. And you know, looking back, I couldn't have chose a better place for me. I wouldn't have had the career I had without it.
That's what's up, though. I know a little bit about Liberty because I went to Flint Hill. That's like 10, 20 minutes from the crib. Yeah. I went there and we played against, I think it's called like Liberty Academy, like the
they have the Christian.
Yeah. So like Liberty's like in the middle of nowhere, kind of.
Nowhere, Lynchburg, Virginia, nowhere.
Yeah, my roommate from Lynchburg too. That's crazy.
Yeah, Lynchburg, Virginia. Yeah,
that's crazy.
But they built it up. It's funny because my little brother now, Caleb Holmesley, he just finished there. You know, he's high on the draft boards right now. So in a week and a half, you know, he's probably gonna get picked up by somebody. So it was kind of cool to watch him follow the blueprint, you know what I mean, coming out of there and putting them on the map. So it's good.
Yeah, that's what's up. At Liberty, Do you feel like you got like the recognition you deserve? Because I seen a couple of highlights on YouTube. You had like a little Charles Barkley game to you.
Yeah. Like I had some big games. I had 2 40-point, 20 rebound games in my career there. I always play well on the big stages. I mean, recognition, I think it's all, I don't know. It's political. You got to play it right. I mean, I was first team all conference. I was All-American honorable mention. I was cool with everything I got. Like, I just was never satisfied. But, you know, I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I don't feel anything less from it, you know?
Okay. So then we're going to hop over to, you know, the overseas side of things.
Right.
How were you able to handle, like, that transition mentally to go play overseas? Like, you from New York. You never been overseas. You probably didn't have a passport.
Been overseas. I didn't even leave New York until I went to college. Yeah, of course. Of course, man. I got my passport for the first time that summer when I graduated college, man.
Man.
Yeah, it was the transition for that was tough, man. But at the end of the day, it was an opportunity. It was the most money I've seen in my life. First year out of college, I was blessed to sign a great contract my first year out, and you know it was a culture shock, man. Just getting on the plane and getting over there. Once you land, it's like, now what? Like I got to figure this out, man. I don't speak the language, you know what I mean? So it was an adjustment, and I remember the time change. When I first got there, this was like the biggest shock of like being a professional. I got there and I set the alarm wrong, AM, PM, the time change was up. I overslept. Hour late for practice, they fined me $5,000. I was like, I only have $5,000 to give you yet. I just got here. And then I was like, man, you got to be on point. This overseas is completely different. They expect you to come in and from day one, no excuses, get it done. And, you know, immediately changed my mindset.
Yeah, that's crazy. My pop, he went to Boston University, and then he went over to play in France, and he been telling me like my whole life about that transition. The coaches don't play no games. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do on the court, they're gonna send you back home.
Immediately. Yeah, immediately. It's not the NBA, man. There's no guaranteed contracts, even if they say it's guaranteed, and it's performance based, and if they don't like the way you're performing, somebody's on the next plane over, man. It's simple as that.
Man, that's crazy.
You know what I mean?
And I go to my next question. What are some things people and agents don't tell like these professional overseas players like as they're getting ready to make that transition overseas?
I mean, it's a lot, man. They're gonna get you there, but it's the thing that they don't tell you the most. Everybody talks about numbers and playing and being professional, and it is so much more to that than just coming to practice, showing up, doing your thing, being on time. You got to get involved with the culture, with the people, with your teammates. Like I've noticed the people who have the most success over there, they found a way to embrace the culture, and they have a great relationship with their teammates, the guys from that country. And that gives them longevity and a good rapport because your name is going to travel with you. And when you leave that place, whatever team that wants to sign you is going to call that team and try to get a referral and find out what you're really about. And you want everybody to say the best things possible about you. And I made those faults early in my career where I kind of was, you know, doing my own thing, a little bit of an ego and separated myself. And it hurt me till I learned, man, you got to learn the culture. And it's so much bigger than just playing basketball.
So if you had to say there was one experience that like stood out from the rest, what would be like that experience?
Man, besides just like seeing, like I played in some cool places to where I got to see like 5 of the world wonders. You know, the 7 world wonders. I saw 5 of them. So it's like things I wouldn't get to see in my life. Even going to Egypt, seeing the pyramids, just all kind of crazy stuff. But like, I think like, honestly, like the craziest thing is like the people's love for basketball and you as a person. Like you think like the NBA is the pinnacle, and then you get over there and you realize, man, they're looking at you as how we look at these guys, LeBron, Mike, whatever it is. And I remember one time I was in the Philippines. The Philippines is like crazy. On a basketball tip, my favorite place to play. There's unbelievable love when you get out there. 30,000 fans at every game. You can't go to the mall without security. You can't go anywhere without a driver. Like, it's not happening.
So you were like a superstar over there.
All Americans are, you know, if you're lucky enough to go, because you're the only one on the team. And you get a lot of love out there, too. It's good people, but super competitive. But I remember I was dealing with my second Achilles injury, so, like, after every practice, I would put my foot in, like, an ice bath, like ice water, and the dude ran up. He's like, McLean. They call you Idol out there. Idol. They call everybody that, so it's not like I was something special. Idol. And he took a cup, and he put it in the water where I was soaking my feet and just drank it. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. I went in my pocket. I gave them like every penny I had, all the pesos they gave me. I was like, yo, the love I hear is real, but it's like fanatical. And I was just like, you know, it's just genuine love for the sport too when you see it out there. Like I do a lot with still, I got a lot of people in the Philippines. I do a lot with some organization. My buddy owns a big organization. And just the love you get is unmatched, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
And now we're going to transition over, you know, to life after sports now.
Right.
The big thing. So when did you know it was time for you to like hang up the shoes and
Man, it's tough. I think that's like the most underrated thing of a professional athlete, man, is that transition and knowing how to navigate the time, because I retired earlier than probably I could have easily squeezed out some more years.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like knowing when it's time to transition, man. And a lot of guys deal with it. And if you undershoot it and you wait a little too long, you may not get an opportunity. You might miss out on an opportunity for the next 20, 30 years of your career. But if you don't see it all the way through, you won't be fulfilled with where you went as a professional player. So it's like a thin line you got to navigate. So like, luckily for me, I tore both my Achilles in my career. So I'm rehabbing the second Achilles. And I made a pact with myself, like, I want to come back from this twice and be a good player. And I came back. But during my rehab of the second one, I went back to Liberty as a GA and to get my master's degree and just work with the guys. My coach called me, like, hey, come back, rehab here, free, work with the guys. So I became a GA for that year. I got my master's. Then I caught the bug of wanting to get guys better, man. And that's when you know what I mean? And I had a contract to go, my biggest contract I've ever had in my professional career, to go back and play. And I turned it down. And a week later, the Wizards called. So it was like, you know what I mean? Because I kind of just felt like, let me just wait it out and see. I was getting ready to sign. The Wizards called. And for a fraction of the money I would have had to make, because it was an entry level to get in. And I took it. And it's been off and running since then, man. Just invested it in myself. I still can't believe I turned down that money, but, man, I've gotten it back tenfold, man. I've been overly fulfilled with where I'm at.
For sure. Everything definitely happens for a reason. And to like
100%.
To athletes out here that may be watching or that will watch, like, you know, the rebroadcast or whatever of this, what are some things you would tell them about, you know, that transition that a lot of people are facing right now, especially at my age? A lot of people, you know, they play college ball, they might have went pro overseas, or they might still be trying to go pro. So like, what are some things you would tell them about like that transition that would help them out?
I mean, first and foremost, like, don't waste a day. Like, if you're still in the chase or you're still in it and playing, like, you got to maximize every single day. And people say it and you take it lightly, but like, you literally have to leave everything you got. So when you do walk away, you can say, hey, I gave this everything I got. I'm fulfilled, man. This wasn't the path. It's just leading me to something else. And that'll help you. Once you're at peace with yourself, it's easy to transition. But if you're caught in between in limbo, it's very hard to make that transition. So it's kind of just take it day by day. Max out the day. I say that a lot. Like, you got today, just max it out. You know, let it build on the next day, and you'll kind of know it. And you'll get an internal feeling of when it's time. You know, but it can't be through somebody else. It's got to be through the person.
Yeah,
you know?
and I feel like a lot of times people, they might have a hard time like with that realization that like, dang, this is over. Man. Like, you know, like everything I work for, this is all I know. One thing I want to focus on with like after the ball deflates more organization is changing the narrative, because a lot of people they use the excuse, all I know is basketball, all I know is football. It's more than life than just that. Like, you only know what you are exposed to.
Exactly.
So like, I see that, you know, with your daughter, she does like horseback riding and stuff, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, so it's all about,
she's really good.
It's all about that exposure, and the more we can expose athletes, young athletes, to different things, the better the outcome in the future when it is time for them to hang up that ball or soccer ball or whatever it is.
Whatever, yeah, 100%.
So did you already have like a game plan set up for once you decided to hang it up, or did you just kind of go with the flow?
Yeah, I started to after the first injury. We'll put things in perspective for you quick, because Achilles is a 16-month rehab, so you're not gonna have income for 16 months. So I started thinking like, hey man, I'm gonna have to rehab. Like, let me start really thinking about things I can do to whatever bring in income or just set myself up for the future, because that's the first test. Is you feel invincible and you have your first injury, you realize, man, this could be over at any minute. So it's kind of like, as far as in the business world, I started to do small things and invest and slowly build that up. But like, as far as being in the basketball world after basketball, I never thought I'd be doing what I was doing. I always had the passion, but it was only for myself. I did it selfishly, like with my work ethic. I used it for myself, and I didn't use it for others. When I started using it for others, I became fulfilled. And once I became fulfilled, I knew that this was my calling for, the next 30 years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that I didn't really have it per se, but I would watch guys, and I'm like, man, how did they get into this after? It was just kind of like finding my way a little bit. But no, I didn't have it set up to the T.
Man,
Yeah.
that's crazy. I mean, I like that because sometimes like you just don't know, and like only thing you could do is basically pray on it and just keep the
100%.
faith and put the work in to get whatever outcome that you want. But also like not just settling and just sitting down, letting the days go by and just being lazy. Because I feel like a lot of people, once that transition happens, they don't know nothing else, so they go back to the streets, they go to drugs, they start selling
100%.
weed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
was that like a hard transition? Well, not a hard decision, but did you kind of have like those things in the back of your head, like, man, I'm about to go back to New York and just go back to what I'm doing?
100%. I was there, man. I get back, because now you're getting back to the people you were around before, and there's nothing wrong. I love everybody, but it's when you come up in a certain area, at least where I'm from, the people you look up to are either selling drugs or playing professional sports. You know what I mean? That's the reality. My friends are either professional athletes or they're in the streets, or they were, and they, maybe they've changed their life around or whatever. But that's what you idolize. You're idolizing the flash and the money by any means. And you'll always be a product of your environment if you choose to be around it. And the biggest killer is idle time. So if you have idle time, you're susceptible to get influenced by anybody or anybody around you. And the people you surround yourself with subconsciously are going to get you to be in there, learn behavior. You know what I mean? So, like, on top of that, it's just like you got to really take some time for yourself to figure out who you are and what you want to do. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And that's kind of the reality. But, man, I've seen guys, man, go to jail after playing basketball, working 9-to-5 jobs they don't want to be at, just not fulfilling their potential because they're scared to get out of their comfort zone and try something new or get around a new group of people.
Facts. And another like motto, I don't know if I ever heard this before, but I came up with it, like, instead of being like a product of your environment, be the solution to your environment. When you can go back and make that change, once you make it to where you at in life, you could come back and help the next person up, the next person up, the next person up, instead of going back doing the same things that you was doing when you were like 14, 15, or whatever years old.
100%. Yep.
For sure.
100%. Yep.
So, with your role with being assistant coach for the Washington Wizards, like, how did that come about for you?
I mean, it actually came through. That's why I kind of always call Liberty like my safe haven, man, because so the general manager, Tommy Shepard, when I was my last year and I was starting my pre-draft process, the first place I went was Washington, and the assistant coach, Brad Sushi, talked about that. And the first guy I met was Tommy Shepard, our GM. He was the assistant GM at the time. And he had a close relationship with my coaches, and it was kind of like what do you call it? Like a 1 degree of separation type thing. So like when I was getting done playing, he was the first person he called, or one of the people he called when he was looking for like a player development. My first job was a G League assignment coach. So we didn't have a G League team at the time. So any guy that was on the NBA roster that had to go to G League, I would travel with them and be there, make sure they get their work in and kind of shadow them. And when he called Liberty, he said, hey, you guys got anybody or know anybody? He said, hey, we got Alex. And I'm getting ready to sign that deal. I got that deal.
Yeah.
I ain't thinking about that, but it's like when the NBA calls, man, the answer is always yes. You know, it's the highest level you could get to, man. And that's when I was like, I'm done playing. Because to be in this business, to be a coach, and to genuinely, truly get guys better, it's not about you anymore. It's about them. And you have to be able to put your ego aside. And the quicker you can do that, the more influential you'll be on them, because they're at the pinnacle, man. Like, I was a good player and I did well, but I can't touch the level of guys that I train every day. Not even close. They're born to do that, man. They are 0.1% of the world. There's 400 jobs in the NBA, billions of people in the world. Think about it. 400 jobs in the NBA, only 60 open up every year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's you got to be selfless, man. You got to make it about them all the time. Not in a serving, you are serving them, but in I'm truly here to get you better by any means necessary. And that's kind of the code I live by, man. I just try to keep credibility with my work ethic. But as far as an ego, it's all about that.
Big facts, big facts. And like you said there's only like 400 jobs in the NBA, 60 open up every year.
Mm-hmm.
For, let's say there probably are some parents out here that's watching this. What would you tell some of the parents about the whole process and everything? Because, a lot of people grow up and they say, yeah, my son gonna make it to the NBA. My son gonna be the best basketball player, when that's really not the reality. Like, a lot of parents, they focus so much of like getting their kids in the gym and stuff that they don't necessarily focus on other avenues for their sons and daughters to be successful. And then once the kid gets older and graduate from college, the kid back at home with their mom, and then their mom and dad like, man, when so-and-so can get out of the house because, this and that.
Right.
So what are some things you would tell some parents about the reality of the NBA?
I mean, there's a lot of intricacies within that, because one, when you're a parent, you don't want to burn your kid out and push them, but you want to support them to the max and make sure that they take it as far as they can go. But basketball is you go all in with it, and when you're a basketball player or becoming one, you identify with it. It becomes your identity. It's who you are. It's what you do. You see people all the time, the first thing they write on their bio, basketball player, whatever. It's what you identify as. But at the end of the day, it's kind of fool's gold, because at the best, if you could play to 30, you had an incredible career. Your life doesn't even start till after 30. You know what I mean? Like, the real stuff. So at best, if you get 10, 12 years, 15 years, you like guys who get 12, 15, that's like unheard of. But the life expectancy professional basketball is 5.5 years, I think. So just think, and it's like a weeding process.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even get in high school because of the politics and then you go to college just to play Division I alone. You're at the 1% of the country or less. Think about it. There's only 12 scholarships. Everybody wants to play Division I. Then what if you become a walk-on? Odds are stacked against you more. Now you got to go from Division I. Now you got to separate again. You got to become the 1% again. And then you got to get to the NBA. You got to become the 1%. You have to become the 1% about every other year of your life. So you have to do what the 1% is doing, and it requires an intense amount of focus and discipline. And then you got to be lucky on top of that. You got to stay healthy. The chips have got to line up perfect for you. It's go play Powerball. That's what I want to tell parents. Before you say your kid is going to do this, go play Powerball every day. You have a better chance of hitting Powerball before your kid goes to the NBA. That's the reality. But I want you to believe. I believe in my people, and whoever wants it, I'm going to back you up, because I believe you can do it 100%. I believe you set your mind to it, you can. But you better off playing Powerball. You know what I mean?
For real, that's fact. That's fact.
That's numbers.
Yeah, that's the reality of it, though. A lot of people like to shy away from the reality of things, but you gotta face it. You gotta face it at some point in your life, whether it's early. It's better to get it early than later, because you don't want to be at the, trying to figure out what's next in life at like 35, 40 years old, because you still chasing hoop dreams. Like,
100%. 100%. I mean, and guys do, man, but the life after is so important. Like not my whole life, but my 20s, I identified as a basketball player. I was always chasing the next thing. And then when I finally got here, and I sat back and looked, I said, man, I was just playing professional basketball as a very small stepping stone to do what I'm doing now, because I'm completely fulfilled with my life. I don't even think about playing. Like, I go, like, we have big pickups down here in Miami, at Remy's, and we had a group with KD and Kyrie out in LA the week before, and guys always hit me in the DM, yo, hey, that run look crazy, man. Did you get in there? I'm like, get in there, man. Like I don't even think about playing. Like, I'm here because I'm trained. Like, me and John, we've been in the gym for 2 years every single day. So for me to just watch him go kill, like, bro, that's what I'm looking for. Like, that's my fix. It's not about me going to get and trying to score. Like, that's my fix. I want to see who I train kill everybody. You know what I mean? That's what I like. So that's where I'm at. And it's so much bigger than being a player, man. Like, it's crazy that I never thought it would be that, but that's what it is for me.
Okay. I think we got a question right here. It says, for inner city kids who's working to pay bills and take care of their families, what or how to bring exposure to kids to show them something different?
I mean, so I can't answer that, but I can tell you my life, and maybe they could take a piece from that. One, everybody around you will make it seem like you know, when you have a lot on your plate that it's impossible. I can't do that because I got to take care of my family. I got to take care of my this or that. When I went to JUCO, not only did I pay my way, I took out a student loan. I gave the loan to my parents. So not only did I pay my way, I had to pay back the loan. So I paid double to go. You know what I mean? So everybody's got to work. You know, I worked at Enterprise Rental Cars. I used to wash the car. I was the guy that was in the back that would wash the cars, and they come pick you up. So people are standing over you. I'm 6'8". People are looking at me. This dude's back here washing cars. I wash cars at Enterprise. I took out a loan to give them up. You got to figure it out. At some point, if this is really what you want to do, you'll figure it out. And it'll pay dividends for you later, because then when you get it now I'm on scholarship, Division I. I eat for free. I got this, that. This is easy. All I do is go to school, play basketball. I was just washing cars, trying to figure out how I'm going to pay the tuition or get the Pell Grant. You know what I mean? So you don't have it bad. Everybody's got it bad. So don't do a pity case or think that it's impossible. Nothing's impossible. It's just you got to figure it out. And if you want it really bad, you're going to figure it out.
Yep, for sure. Yeah. And then, like you said, you got the Washington Wizards job due to, you know, people at Liberty and connections. So do you believe in the quote or the term, your network is your net worth?
100%, man. 100%. It's surrounding yourself with people that could uplift you, because you got to be there to uplift people. You have a strong team. It doesn't have to be a big team, but you got to have a strong team. And if I'm down, you got to be up to lift me up. So if I'm up and you're down, I can lift you up. But we all got to be there for each other. It's kind of like, I remember Dame Dash said it, and I kind of applied it to the basketball. He's like, I got to surround myself around millionaires, because if I'm around millionaires in my team, if I'm ever down, I need money. I can get money here, and I'm back up. I'm back on my feet. It's the same for life, advice, the basketball world. You're not always going to be up, and you're not always going to be down. But like the odds of your team, everybody all being down at once, is very small. And you can always gain experience, and you want to kind of diversify those people. Like I call it a cabinet. Like I have a cabinet of people I use that holds me accountable in order for me to hold other people accountable. You know what I mean? And my cabinet is a 50-year-old white lawyer. It's a Christian coach. You know what I mean? I have a very diverse portfolio of people, but it's my cabinet, man. There's people I have to lean on to keep it real with me, and that could always put me back in route or open a door for me that I couldn't see because they have access to it. So and in turn, I open doors for them. And it's kind of just it revolves, man. It's a revolution. You know, life is revolution.
It really is. And things just happen over time. And sometimes, like, you know, you got to manifest on, you got to speak it into existence. But with speaking things into existence, you can speak it all you want, but until you put that work in, it's not going to happen. So
it's not going to happen. Yeah. Not by speaking it. I'm a strong believer in that, positive affirmations, but you got to have the work ethic to back it up first and foremost, man. You know, hard work talks, and not everybody can get a word in.
Yeah, and then another thing, but like when I talk about the network is your net worth, a lot of people think that just because they know somebody that can get them in the door, they're set. But I feel like they can get you in the door, but once you get in that door, it's all on you to take advantage of the opportunity and to make the best of it and not make them look bad. Because at the end of the day, people gonna come back and be like, man, this person's terrible. Why would you refer me to him? Like this person not doing nothing.
100%. Yeah, I was just talking about that with my man Joe. I was like, before I'd rather take money from you, I'd rather you give me the opportunity and have me create my own value. One, because it'll be a better reflection on you, and it's going to give me the tools I need to be successful without you. So it's people get so entitled, and especially the world I'm in, it's like, yo, my man signed for $150 million. Like, I should be able to get this, or you know, he got this, so he should be able to give it to me. Nah, just give me the opportunity, man. And now it's on me. Now, if I mess it up, I can't be mad at you. You put me there. Now I had to create value. I had to create value for myself. And I see a lot of people, they get there and they don't create value. And the only way you can stay is by creating value. Because you'll get there, but it's about staying. It's about longevity. You know what I mean?
Yep, for sure. Yeah. It's two questions. I'm going to address the first one that someone put. They said, do you train all the players differently or different skill sets?
I train everybody different. Everybody's completely different, you know. You wake up, you do one thing. Everybody's completely different, and there's kind of a broad thing you could do to kind of assess somebody, but you have to do your research before you train somebody. You got to get to know who they are, but on top of that, you got to get to know them as a person.
For sure.
And you can rebound for anybody to shoot threes. Anybody could do that, But like, how do you really connect and how do you really get through? And that comes from a personal level first. So if you don't get to know them as a person, you don't feel that bond, you can't get them to work for you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's about learning, getting to know them, and then just developing. And it's trial. A lot of it is trial and error. Like I've been fortunate enough. Like the main dude I'm with is John Wall. He's the hardest worker I've ever been around. And I may lay out, have something, and we may freestyle it in the workout. It may completely change, or he may say, "Yo, hey, nah, do it like this." And I don't have an ego to where this is #1 pick, man. So at the end of the day, like, just because I mapped out something and I think my stuff is good, like he may give me something that changes the whole dynamic of the workout. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You gotta be able to have a give and a take. So there's no way I can train everybody the same because the feedback I get from them could be completely different. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And like you said about the relationship, so because I see like a lot of assistant coaches in the NBA or just in general, they have like a certain relationship with their players. But what is it about you and John Wall that makes y'all like click so good together? Because like you said, y'all together 24/7 all the time.
Yeah,
So
24. Yeah. I mean, I've been fortunate enough that everybody I've been around to train, like we all pretty tight.
yeah.
And I think one, because I can relate to the culture. I'm close enough in age. I played. So we have a lot of things off the bat, even background, just life, like my family's from Raleigh, his family's from Raleigh, just using it from as an example. But like I can relate in that way. And then it's about being solid. People got to respect you, man. You got to do what you say you're going to do. You can't have a hidden agenda. And you got to maintain credibility. And everybody knows that who I train with, I'm in the trenches with you. Like, we getting up here to work out, I'm going. Here, like, I'm in everything, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to do it with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From that aspect. And I think as far as me and John, man, just like, we got real tight. We were always cool. But, like, when I saw him limping and when his Achilles was going, because I played through it, and people were like, hey, man, that's a tough thing to tell somebody, man, you might want to get this fixed. It might cost you a year and a half on your career, but, nobody's trying to hear that. You're trying to play now. And I remember it was at the end of Detroit, and I said at halftime, I said, yo, John, man, I said, you're not moving right, bro. I was like, I've been there. You got to go get that thing fixed, man. He's like, I know, hey, man. He's like, I thought I could do this. I said, yo, get it fixed. Next day, he got it fixed, man. He committed to get it fixed. And it's tough, man, because once you give into that, it's done. You could count that year and maybe even the next year finish. So from just the injury and the rehab and that aspect of what it takes to get back, we connected off the rip. You know what I mean? And then when we started the actual rehab process, once we gave him like something small we did, and we just kind of hit it off then, and then it's been off and running, man. It's like we got so much in common, and we've been there through the best times and, man, the worst times, even when his mom passed, man, I'm in the hospital with him, me, Brad, are like the people, he knows the people that love him for real, and it's so much deep between me and him. It's deeper than basketball, man, like way deeper. And he knows I got it. It's like a brother thing, and it's you're still a coach, so you got to toe the line and you got to know how to navigate it. But when you get that kind of a bond with somebody, man, it's special, man. Fully invested.
Yep. That's one thing I like about the sport of basketball, because I'm not even going to say most. All of my friendships have came through baskall. Like you said, it's more than a game. It's a brotherhood. Like,
it's a brotherhood, yeah.
Your mom is like my mom. Your sister's like my sister. Like, all that. Somebody else had another question. They said, at what age do you start the grind? Well, you start the grind whenever, because it's easy to burn them out. So what's a good age to start the grind of being the best?
Man, it starts when you're ready, man. Like, everybody's journey is different. I would hope the sooner the better. Like I said, and they mentioned something about burning out, but you don't want to ever burn out. But man, when you got that itch and that fire, you got to maximize it, man. 2020 should teach everybody at least this. We don't have tomorrow, man. I'm not worried about burning out. I'm going to burn out today. We'll see what happens when I wake up tomorrow, because when I wake up tomorrow, I'm playing with house money. So I'm getting after it again. You know what I mean? So there's really no age. I mean, it's you don't want to, when kids are young, like I got kids, so I let them find their way. I don't push basketball on them. And they said, Dad, I want to work out. We work out. I want to ride horses. Go ride horses. Like, try everything first to see what you like. But when you want to specialize, then you got to lock in, man. So I started at 18. I started late. People start at 5. People start at 7. Whoever. When it's go time, it's go time, man. It's that simple.
Yeah. So talking about family and being a coach and everything, how is it like handling family and then business as well on the same
bro. So it's damn near impossible, my man.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough when you got kids, man. Both my daughters, they're born on the same day. They're a few years apart, but they have the same birthday. So we just had their birthday party Saturday, and I've been in Miami and all over. So I flew home, and it's tough, man, because you got to deal with little stuff. Like every time I walk to the door, my little daughter goes, "Don't leave me," because she's so used to. Because you're there 2 days, you're going 5 days. You're here one. That's just during the season grind.
Yeah.
Now in the off season, man, you know, I'm getting home when I can, and that weighs on you, man. You gotta have a different type of family. You gotta have people that truly understand this life, that are about it, that understand how it works, and can still support you at the worst. Because the one thing you can't give is time, man. I've missed countless Christmases. I missed my first daughter's birth, so I'm playing, and they gave me the option. They were like, "Here, you could go home for the birth, or you could get 3 weeks on Christmas." So I said, "Man, I'll take the 3 weeks rather than the 2 days."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but you got to make decisions, and these are things that impact you. But if you can see the bigger picture, and I do, it's all worth it, you know. But you got to almost compartmentalize a little bit emotionally and business wise, because if you're not built for it, man, you won't be able to make it.
I feel that. So outside of basketball, what other things do you have your hand in, like, financially, to create like multiple streams of income?
Man, so I have an investment company that I started. You know, my family's big into horse riding, so we started a horse riding apparel company for kids, horses. I do like tax liens and real estate stuff. Just trying to, when I was making that good tax-free money overseas, I made a lot of mistakes with it, but I tried to do a lot of the right things with it too. So just slowly grinding, man. And quarantine was great for me. I'm in the process of writing a book right now.
Okay.
And just different things. And a lot of things I don't do specifically for money, because when you're doing it just for the money, you can't get the money, man. When you're doing it out of a place of like just passion, the money finds you. You duck and dodge the money. Like I'll train guys for free all day. I duck and dodge the money. Like, nah, I'm cool. Like, the first thing people ask when they catch, hey, let's work out. How much? Man, let's get in the gym, man. I can't talk money. I can't train you right if I'm thinking about the money you guys paying me. Like, we worry about that later. You know what I mean? And then it comes. You know what I'm saying? So I was fortunate, man. I trained a kid, man, trying to just make it to a Division I school, man. Fathers, like, it just people just look out for you in this business. But you know, I dibble and dabble, man, with a little bit of everything for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
How you feeling about the upcoming season?
Oh man, I can't wait, man. It can't come fast enough for me, man. Like, it's been long overdue, you know?
Yeah.
Long overdue. Hopefully, you know, the NBA did a great job with the bubble, so I anticipate they're going to do just as good of a job with the 72-game season and keep everybody safe, and just, you know, hopefully slowly start getting fans back and getting that vibe back, you know?
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
All right, and this is a question that, you know, the haters out there, they've been asking and all that. Okay, what's something that you want to say about, you know, to all the John Wall haters out there? Because everybody's saying he can't do this, he can't do that, and yeah.
Man, all I gotta say is, see you on December 22nd, man. That's it. I can't say nothing else.
Yeah.
We're gonna be in the gym tomorrow morning. So by the time they wake up and trying to cook up whatever they're gonna say, we already won't work out in.
Yeah.
Regardless, man. You know, the show goes on, man.
You got a hater right in the ground. I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, it's all right. Hey, that's good. Like, I appreciate everybody's entitled to opinion, and it's good because we're always looking for daily motivation. So the more messages like that we can get, it's good for me, because I have something wrong in my head. Well, I'm probably gonna text him after this. We might go get 1,000 up tonight just because you wrote that. So we don't know where this is gonna go, but I know it's gonna go somewhere positive. I can tell you that. You know what I mean? It's gonna go somewhere positive.
I love the energy.
Yeah.
All right, this is the last question. 5 keys to success, if you have 5.
That's tough, man. I think it's, first and foremost, is respect. You know, it's commitment. It's honor, man, as far as just being solid, being loyal, being a man of your word and doing what you say you're going to do. It's about paying it forward. And I think the last thing, and the cool gem I picked up last week was everything we go through in life is for us and for somebody else. So don't always internalize everything, man. Just know, man, maybe you're the scapegoat for somebody else, and you got to go through this in order to guide somebody else in the right direction. So I'm a big fan of paying it forward, man. Never get caught up in the moment, and never operate out of a place of emotion, man. You know, I think that those are important things. I don't know, that might have been like seven keys, but whatever. That's what happened.
Well, yeah, I definitely appreciate, you coming on here. This was
Likewise, bro.
good conversation.
For
And we'll
sure.
catch up. And,
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, once the fans come back and all that, I'll be at some games.
Oh, I
I'll be
got
there.
you. You know that. I got you. You whatever you need, I got you. You just hit my line, man.
All right,
Put
for
it right
sure, though.
aside.
I appreciate it. I'm going to hit you after this.
Like what? Appreciate it, bro.
All right, no problem. All right.